This is Tom.
This question is for Robert. I'm traveling with my 18-year-old daughter, and every morning we wake up to Chicago. And I wanted to ask you about, does it surprise you that this new generation is so into the music? I mean, to me it's so good, it makes perfect sense, but is it surprising that the next generation is just as enthused? Thank God she's not in the rap.
Well, actually nothing surprises me anymore, especially in the era of digital music and everybody is sort of downloading mixes and remixing mixes. And, so I think it's yes, it's surprising in the sense that we tend to think that, I mean, there's certain aspects of rock music, pop music, is by and for, 20-somethings, for a lot of different reasons. But I think just because of the way that music is being delivered now and perceived now, it doesn't really matter when the song was written and when it was recorded and how old the musicians are who are playing it. I think what's very cool is that I think young people now are not influenced by the age of musicians. They just want to hear the music.
This is Alan.
Hello guys, first of all I want to bring greetings and gratitude for all this music from Canada. I'm down from Vancouver. And I've got a short question for each of you. It's been a long time since I've seen a concert with an acoustic piano on stage. I wondered, is there anything to that decision, or convenience, or do you want to change the sound, or?
Well, I'm sure because I love to play acoustic piano too. I'm sure a big part of it, probably the biggest part of it, is just logistics. It's unless you have a grand piano, a really finely tuned, it's that's a hard thing to bring on the road and to constantly do. It's expensive, and but sure, I'm sure either one of us would love to play acoustic piano if it was logistically possible to always bring it. And technology now, of course, there's great piano sounds on synthesizers and computers and all that, but nothing like the physical acoustic piano. So that's an easy one. We would love to play acoustic piano.
I'm actually at the age where I'm accumulating one of those lists. Actually, being here is one item on the list. One of my other items is I've got to start back into piano again. The other question is that music teacher that didn't like you very much, Lou, where is he now?
Pushing on daisies,
Everybody knows Tom Hopper.
Robert, this is for you. Can you speak a little bit about Blue Infinity?
I'm guilty of not going and looking at Blue Infinity every day like I promised I would. Trent said, if I build this, you gotta be there. You gotta be there for these people. And at some point, when about I guess 6 months ago, when we were kind of writing songs in public, that was exciting. But I realized when I told Trent, I said, listen, I just want to write songs. I do not want to drive this website. He said, okay, I get it. Because and actually Trent Gardner will probably be at the next convention because he is really turning out to be quite an asset to me and to the band, beside being a brilliant musician. Because he was emailing me like 20 times a day and calling me and all about the Blue Infinity website. Really what I wanted to do, because I was frustrated with the fact that there were no record companies, was just start a record company, and I wanted to have not just my music, but the music of artists and writers like Lou that I admire, and be able to expose that music at will. there are a handful of artists that I really admire, and I would like to just share them with anybody who logs onto Lamm Lou Pardini. And that's still for me the most important aspect of it. But I just don't, you know, I like a lot of things about the internet. I don't like having to sit at the computer for hours at a time. I just don't. I feel like I could be doing other things.
Thank you. Robert, real quick, on the new website, the free download of Another Rainy Day in New York City, who is singing that? Have you listened to it? It's not.
It's Jason.
Is it? That's what I thought. Okay. It's awesome. I'm going to play it later. Thanks.
Okay, Robert.
This is for Robert. A couple of questions real quick. You're the consummate songwriter, I mean, from day one. And I think there's so many hits that could have been on the radio, and I'll never know why they weren't on the radio. But this is kind of, we've been talking about songwriting thing, is I think there's only one song that was not done by Chicago, but by Steve Winwood. And how did that come about with I'm a Man, that you used another band's, or, you know, like a cover? How did that come about?
Well, in the years preceding us going in to record the first album, that was in our club set. You know, when we were playing cover tunes, and the way we were doing it was different enough that our producer Jim Garcia said, "We need one more track. We need one more track real fast. Just go in there and play on the man, and we'll do our magic with it." So that's how that came about. I've actually had the co-writer of that song, I want to say Jimmy, I'm blanking on his last name, but I've had the widow of that writer and the family of that writer come up to me and say, "Thank you so much for recording this song," because it really, you know, we really lived up that for all of our lives.
Thank you.
I have a question for Robert. In your early songs, especially Beginnings and 25 or 624, there's a lot of Baroque influence with certain patterns, and I was wondering if you created that and incorporated that in writing, or if other band members influenced that.
Baroque?
Yes.
I didn't know what Baroque was.
I mean, there's counterpoint, and there's certain licks that are ascending, descending, and...
I wish I could say I knew what I was doing at the time.
Hello guys. I was going to ask you a question about Blue Infinity because I really enjoy the website, just the future that you and a lot of other artists are going into, especially, I think you pronounce his name Hotai. Love his, here at every sports event. So, since I can't ask that question, are there any sports you're into? Please don't say you're a Yankees fan.
I'm married to a Yankees fan. So true love can exist despite different team alliances. I like all sports. My opinion is that the hockey season is way too long and the basketball season is way too long. So I generally start to pay attention during the playoffs. But I like baseball. I love the cathedral of the baseball field. So
Thank you.
Hey Robert, wanted to say thank you for the music. I've loved you guys all my life. I've been fans since first, second grade. My kids are starting even earlier. We really loved your Subtlety and Passion album, and I think it's one of the best records come out in years. Any solo albums coming up?
well, I have a lineup of songs that I think will be the next solo album. And even though I just finished having 6 months off, I wish I had another 6 months to concentrate on some of the other activities, including a solo album. I'll find a way to get it done, but yeah, it's in the works.
Thank you. This is our last question from Jamie.
Hi Robert.
Of all the songs you've written, is there one song that you would consider, in your opinion, your best song?
If you come to the next convention next year, I'll have an answer for you.
Thank you, guys.